Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
What is up, guys? It's Hunter Klein bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number 64. I'm going to foreshadow this, guys. If it's not already clear to you, if you haven't been tuning in the last couple of weeks, things are dry right now. My perspective is limited. My experiences are short, limited as well. And it's because, like we've talked about, I am in the final stretch of a very wild journey to become qualified for a specific position. I feel like there's a much more elegant way to put this, but it's just a long-winded way of me saying that I need to grind my ass off for the next 2 weeks. Right now, hopefully this ends soon. Okay. In 5 days, I take a massively large test that is very difficult to pass, that I've been studying for months, every day, hours and hours. And once I'm done with that, I will be able to get out of my head a little more, I would say. But as far as observations, as far as me playing with perspectives, so on and so forth, things have been limited the last couple weeks, and I am not the most proud of the type of content that we're putting out. All right. Now, does this mean that I am disappointed? Does this mean that I am, sad or uncertain about the future of the pod? No, absolutely not. Okay, this is just what happens when you do something every week for years and years on time. We're going to have some bad weeks, but showing up, producing content, staying consistent is a lot more important for me than making sure that every week is perfect. Okay, so that's why we're here, even though, I haven't been spending the most time working, observing, watching humans, playing fun, thinking of cool, exciting things to talk about on the pod. Personally, there's just not a lot going on in my life right now. And I'm going to probably end this discussion short because I talk about it every week. But right now, things are just a little right? Nothing big's happening. Spending a lot of time at the desk, reading, writing, studying, quizzes, so on and so forth. It's just that time of my life. But it is the final stretch. I've been in school for almost 6 years now. And this will be my final month. Right, I defend my thesis April 12th, so in about around a month, just under a month. This is my final stretch. The last time in my life I'll be studying till 10 p.m. in the evening with no solid work schedule. And it feels weird. It feels weird. One thing worth bringing up, guys, is that never in my life have weeks melted together like they are right now. Maybe other people can relate to this during COVID lockdown, kind of being in the same space every day, not really leaving the house. But before I know it, it is already Sunday, IP Monkeys recording time. The weeks are just melting away. And I think one of the biggest reasons for this is that there's really no milestones for me week to week. Right? The weekends hold no value for me. Nothing really changes. I still study the exact same. I still work on the exact same stuff. I still wake up at the exact same time. Every day is the same for me right now. And I know that sounds a little negative and scary and probably not good for most people, but I do enjoy it. Right? I have to be doing the same thing every day because I have a huge test in 5 days. So that shows that I'm focused and motivated. But it is a weird situation. Days, weeks are passing by before my face, and I just have no idea what's going on. Right? That's why it's so beneficial again that these small goals day to day. Right? I don't really know where the weeks are going, but I know for damn sure that every single day I am pushing myself in accomplishing the process goals that I'm setting for myself. Right? That's really where I get my faith from, or really where I get my confidence from. Really where I can, look at this test that 50% of people fail that I'm taking this Friday and say, you know what? I think we got a pretty good chance. I think we got a pretty good chance. So yeah, the weeks are really melting away from me right now. I really find myself asking, where the hell did the last 3 months go? Is it really almost April of 2021? It's nuts, guys. It's nuts, guys. This idea that time moves faster as you age. I have a theory. Okay. I have a theory. Everybody says it's the case. I'm pretty sure it's not argued by many humans on Earth. So why is it? Okay. And my theory is as follows. As you get older, as you have lived more years on this earth, a minute becomes less substantial. A day becomes a smaller fraction of your life. Okay. Let's think, for example. All right. You are 10 years old. 1 year. Let's say we're 10 years old. We just turned 10. The last year of your life, from the year of 9 to 10, was 10% of your human experience. Okay. 10% of your human experience. A large chunk. Okay. Now let's move that to, let's go 20 years old. If you just turned 20 years old and you were 19 the previous year, and you're like, damn, that year went fast. It feels like just like that, it was gone within a second. Well, that year of 19 to 20 was 5% of your life. The fraction that it has, the real estate that it has in your memory and your experience is only 5%. My point here is that as you get older, days and years become a smaller and smaller fraction of your total experience as a human. So I think this is why we get this illusion as we age, time speeds up, things move more quickly. I think it's just because the time we experience as we age is a smaller and smaller fraction of our entire human experiences, the entire pool of memories. I think that makes sense. I think that's an honest perspective and in a realistic theory. It's just a game of relativity, right? A year to a 2-year-old is huge. It's 50% of their life, half their entire human experience. Things move slow. They have a very good memory of each and every step. When they recall their life as a 2-year-old or the last year, it's very easy to navigate those memories because things move slow. There's not else to sift through compared to a 40-year-old human where 1 year is almost 2% of their entire life. That last year, in order to retrieve those memories from the last year, you have to sift through 38, 35 years of memories. And it just becomes relative to our past experiences such a small little snap. And I really think there is some validity in that, guy. So think about that. I think I cracked the code on this one. All right. I am not a big Netflix guy. Well documented. I don't really like TV shows. I think there's a lot better entertainment out there. But my perspective is changing slightly. All right. So last night I got a bottle of wine from Total Wine down in Tempe Marketplace. I was really enjoying myself. Okay, about 75% of the way through this bottle was at 8 o'clock, and I found myself with a lot of time on my hands and nothing to really do. So I pulled up Netflix and started scrolling, kind of hoping something would speak to me. And I found a TV show called Love, Death, and Robots. Okay, now normally I would never click on anything like this. It looked wild. It looked very anime-ish, very esoteric, very out of my realm, out of my normal pool of interest. Okay. But I was in a weird headspace, a little drunk, enjoying myself, feeling myself on that very unique wine intoxication, and I clicked it. And this has to be one of the most interesting shows I have ever watched in my life. Again, this is called Love, Death, and Robots. First off, it is so damn good, guys. I highly suggest watching it. Key point number one, it is not episodic. So that means that you do not, there's no order to these episodes. The art styles between episodes change. The storyline, it looks like different creators made each episode. Right? One episode is like anime formatted. Another episode is like, one of the episodes was like, it wasn't humans that were acting, but it was very, very close. I don't know how to explain this better. What would be a good example? It wasn't like human actors playing characters. It was very, very close though. It wasn't cartoonish. It wasn't animated completely. It wasn't completely digital. But it looked like there was a little tweaking on some actors to make them look a little cartoonish. Very strange. My point here is these episodes are like 10 to 15 minutes long. So after watching 5 to 6 episodes, I felt like it was 3 a.m. when actually it was only 9 p.m. Okay. It was very, very good, very time effective, but very enthralling. The first episode, 15 minutes long, is about three robots walking through post-apocalyptic Earth. All right. I believe one of the episodes was about the Red Army, a bunch of like Russian soldiers fighting off in a cursed jungle with like aliens. These are all 15 minutes. And one was a good episode is to watch here. Again, this is Love, Death, and Robots, is The Witness. Right? The Witness is extremely good. There's one about a civilization living in someone's freezer. It's so creative, guys. It's so out of the box, and it's so short that I think it is really worth exploring. I think it's fantastic. Skipping episodes that you don't think you're very interested in is 100% worth it, but they're just very cool, heartwarming, or scary, or odd stories that are just very, very creative and very, very different from one another. So I'll definitely be finishing those, and I highly suggest watching. Yeah, I just didn't expect to watch something like that. I love that creative stuff. I love to see these people, to see what's getting outside the box. Also, they're getting a little more how do I say, overzealous on Netflix. I mean, this show, Love, Death, and Robots, is very erotic. Like, there are extremely naked men and women throughout this series. There's no blur, there's no blurred boxes, there's no hiding it. Like, it is out there multiple times for a long period of time. You know how you want to watch like a blockbuster movie and like you get like a hint of nude, right? You get like a chunk of a boob for like half a second. This is not like that. They are not trying to hide this at all. This is like full on. Some of these episodes, there is a naked woman on the screen for 15 minutes. And I was very surprised because I didn't know Netflix it worked like this. I did not know they operated like this. So good for them. Absolutely. Very creative. It's good. Again, that's called Love, Death, and Robots, guys. I suggest checking it out. Why not? What else do you have going on? Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Straight up, La Familia. All right. Another interesting thing going on in the world, or the first interesting thing that we're going to talk about this week, is that George Floyd's family, all right, got a $27 million settlement. Now, first off, I'm in no place to talk about monetary value that we put on lost loved ones. because I've never experienced this before, and it's hard for me to have emotion tied to this, to make it real, and to make my perspective authentic and valuable. But it's crazy, guys. George Floyd's family got a $27 million settlement. All right, now first, I will say, obviously, no amount of money can mend losing a loved one. But god damn, is that good to see, guys. $27 million. Now, this brings up a wild thought or debacle for me. Okay, like I said, this is why I preface this at the beginning. I lack the perspective. I've never lost a family member, and had to, been in a situation anywhere near this, right? But how much is a loved one worth? What an interesting question this debacle brings up for this government, for this body, for this case. How do you get to the point of $27 million? How do you talk through this? All right. First off, $27 million is insane. Now, it's important to note that the family of George Floyd said, it's a great deal of cash, but I'd trade it all back to get George back, which is very beautiful. But despite the feelings behind the family, obviously they want their dear family member back. $27 million changes the lives of your entire family lineage for years. If you lost a loved one, it's such a weird conversation. I feel very insensitive for talking about this. Would $27 million make you feel better about that? Because holy hell, that's a lot of money. That's not just, providing security for you, but that's guaranteeing college for your grandchildren, your grandchildren's grandchildren, and your grandchildren. Your family tree, your entire lineage is now stable and prosperous for the rest of the foreseeable future, talking hundreds and hundreds of years. If it's managed correctly, of course. But it's huge. Now all of a sudden, in this case, George Floyd died for the prosperity of his family going forward many, many hundreds of years, which I think is more beautiful than it could have been. Right. Again, I don't want to sound insensitive talking about this. I'm sure I do, and I'm sure I'm already kind of overstepping boundaries, but yeah, it's nuts to me. It's nuts to me that, especially going through this case, that these humans have to be like, all right, George Floyd died. How much is he worth? How much is his life worth? How did this discussion go? 24 million. Let's give her 20. Let's give him 20 million. How about 50 million? They decide on George Floyd's life being worth $27 million. The damage to his family and the hurt to his family is worth $27 million. How interesting, guys. I don't know how I feel about it. That's a lot of money. It's easy for me to say disconnected, that would definitely help me out, but who fucking knows, guys? All right, let me check something real quick before we bounce out of here. I'm just going to go through the news a little bit with you guys, see what's going on, see what's breaking, see if there's anything interesting for us to talk about. It's been a slow week, guys, straight up. This episode's going to be rough. It's going to be short. It's going to be thwarted. And as of right now, I would suspect that next week will too. Things are just crazy this month. Now, in the grand scheme of right now, does it suck? Yeah. Does it hurt? Yeah. Do I feel shitty about myself? Absolutely. But in the grand scheme of things, a month down the road, 2, 3, 5 years down the road, I'm going to be very, very happy that I stuck with it despite how difficult things were. Okay. Things are stressful, guys. I'll be honest with you. I hide my feelings and true intentions a lot of the time because I have this push forward mindset, but things are relatively rough right now. But like we've said in the past, and like we will say going forward, we push through. We push through. All right. All right. Doesn't look like there's anything I can talk about that is too relatively important this week. Nope. 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 All right. We're ending it there, guys. We're not going to force this. We're not going to force this. Alrighty, guys. If you're doing well, if you're riding a high, take advantage of it. You know the deal. Ride it into the sunset. Have some fun with family. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the little things. Find the beauty in it all. And if you're going through a rough spot, battle through, friend. Battle through. All right. There's always a way out, and it will make things so much more beautiful. Alrighty. All right. That's all for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. I know things are short. I know things are struggling, but this is a long-term project, guys. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years. Okay. This is just a couple weeks. A blink of an eye. The blink of an eye in a lifetime, guys. Okay. Things are struggling. Things are rough, but we are still here. We are still showing up. And that's how it will be going forward. Alrighty. Alrighty. That's it for this week's episode. This is Hunter Klein, guys, and you bet you'll hear from me next week. Peace, peace.